There's nothing better than when you can play football and you're coming to the end of your career, and you're like, you know what, bro, I'm ready. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whether football or not, bro, I'm ready. I'm ready to take on whatever it is that life has for me because I know exactly who I am, what I want to be, and how I'm going to attack this thing. You know what I'm saying? As soon as the cleats and the shoulder pads are hung up on that wall. I may go through a little phase where I feel like I'm out of my element for a little bit, but I'm willing to accept that challenge. I'm willing to take on that challenge because I know what's my
Right.
next route.
Nah, man. And the next thing that we're going to mention here, you already kind of tapped into this in our last segment was building alumni mentorship pipelines, right? Like you talked about Mark Cuban in Indiana and setting things up for young athletes just to kind of guide them, man. You got to just the same way we plant seeds earlier on when these kids are 6 years old about them going pro. Now that they're in college and they're in the space to think for themselves, we gotta take it upon ourselves to plant seeds to help these guys figure out who they are outside of the sport and how can we figure out what their passion is, just how to connect them with other people who've done it. Bringing in former athletes or business owners to just to plant seeds, right? Like not exactly a career fair because a career fair you dress up in a suit and tie and you learn about the job. I want these athletes to like start to learn about themselves, whereas a person comes in and talks about their business and maybe just plant some type of seed or some type of a spark that could lead a young athlete to feel like, you know what, I think I might look into this. So when they go back to their dorm room, they're not hitting the start button on their PS5, right, or their Xbox.
Hmm.
They're gonna Google like, yo, how could I become this, or what it takes, and then you start asking different questions and exploring, like, okay, because this athlete came in or because this business owner came in, like it sparks the idea and you go down this rabbit hole of doing research of I think I want to explore this. So like that's the next that's one of the important things too that can kind of help fix this issue is building alumni mentorship pipelines like you mentioned earlier.
Hmm. Yeah, no, I think that's very, very important because at the end of the day, like, you're really a major. Everybody need like a major
Yeah,
resource, right? Like, if you don't have one, you got to find one. But here we do. We have a major resource right at our fingertips. And who better than Mark Cuban or the guy who owns Nike? I
Bill
forget his
Knight.
name. Than to have those guys. That's a part of my network. Like, if you play football at Indiana, like you're a part of my. I'm speaking as if I'm Mark Cuban. You're a part of my
Right,
network now.
true.
You
Yeah.
know, and you may not directly have me as a resource, but you have connections to any of my
Right.
resources, right? So all it should take is a phone call, like, hey man, we got this player, he graduated 2026, name such and such, D'Angelo Pons, man. Hopefully he makes it, but like, hey, he's stepping out of football, man. He's really going to tap into like the business side of things. Who can I connect with? What avenues do I have that we can connect this guy with and get him set on his feet and get him on his way? And all that should be is just a phone
Right.
call, you know what I'm saying? Or, like I said, a coalition or a community or whatever it may be. Like that's how easy it should be.
Subscribe to the Mental Health Playbook on Spotify or Apple Podcasts.